Roxy, your Fire Wife Lawyer Mom, and today we're going to talk about the family subjects I'm going to be using for the 2023-2024 school year, so don't go away. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you love these videos, if they bless you, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. I love to grow my Fire Wife Lawyer Mom community here and help more and more families with their homeschooling journey. If you are a new homeschooler, if you are someone who's starting this year, I welcome you to the Homeschool YouTube community. We are just so blessed to be able to share with you our homeschooling journey here on YouTube and share the resources that we are using to hopefully help you, because I know when I was a beginning homeschooler, I remember how much YouTube helped me in getting me ready for my homeschool journey myself. And so I really love what we get to do here on YouTube. But let's get started with what we're going to be talking about today. So my homeschool is divided into 3 different sections. The first is the core curriculum that I'm using for each of my children. I've already shared videos of what I'm going to be doing this year. I will link them in the description box below for you. The second portion of our homeschool are our family subjects. And the last portion of our homeschool is our morning time. Our morning time is a time where we get together Monday through Thursday for about an hour and a half, and we go through a loop schedule. And I get to put in there a bunch of different topics and subjects that I don't get to have time to teach the family throughout the week, and we put it in that loop schedule. And I'm going to be sharing with you a video on my morning time coming up very soon. But today we're going to focus on the family subjects. So what are family subjects? Family subjects are subjects that you do together as a family. And so pretty simple, right? So if you have multiple children and you don't want to have to teach science to one child, science to another child, history to one child, history to another child, there are curriculums out there for certain subjects where you can actually combine the family together and have a curriculum that tailors to everybody that's at your table. And so that is what we do with 3 of the subjects that I'm going to be sharing with you today. The 3 of them are art, history, and science. From the beginning of our homeschool journey, we have been teaching these subjects together as a family, and really I have been so blessed with the time that we have spent learning these 3 subjects all together. This is what homeschooling is all about, really. It's about learning together as a family, siblings actually going through that exploration and that light bulb that turns on together. That's the part of the bonding that really I'm going to cherish for forever, even when my kids have left my homeschool. And so what we're going to be doing today is going through each of the subjects that I teach and showing you not only the curriculum that I use, but also some additional resources that I use to kind of add to what we are learning and to help my students if they want to learn more about a specific topic. So those I will share with you at the end of this video. So let's get started with what I'm using for our family subjects. For the first subject we're going to be talking about is science. Now, each of my children are going to be doing their own general science curriculums themselves. The reason why I chose to do that this year is because my oldest daughter is going into middle school. I really felt that it was time for her to kind of go into the general sciences. So she's going to be using BJU Press for her general science course. And I have a separate video on her curriculum, which I will link in the description box below, that talks about the science curriculum that I'm using. But my other child, my youngest one, I'm going to be doing a separate, small, very, very, very easy and short science curriculum for her as well. But we still want to be able to learn science together as a family. And so what we do is we do our family subjects on Fridays. So Monday through Thursday, we focus on the core curriculum and on our morning time. But on Fridays, we take these 3 subjects, and that's what we learn together on Fridays. And so we have a really fun time. I've actually did a day in the life for a Fun Friday, which I will also link below for you to see how we do our Fun Fridays and how it what the flow of the Fun Friday is. So we start with science. Now, for science, what we've always done since the beginning of our homeschool journey is we have used the Good and the Beautiful's science units. I love the science units from the Good and the Beautiful because they are so easy. They are so open and go. They're just beautifully formatted, and they have a Christian the worldview that's injected into the science curriculum, and they're just perfect for what I'm looking for in science. And so we started our homeschool journey learning about the life sciences. We went to the first learning about mammals, learning about plants. We went into the human body. We learned then this past year, we did earth science. We learned about geology and space and all those kinds of things. We learned about weather, all that kind of stuff. This year, I kind of wanted to go into the physical sciences, but before I introduced physical science, since my children are a little bit older, I figured it would be good to start learning a little bit more about the physical science, which is always kind of the harder science out of the three big areas of science. And so we're going to be starting, though, with a couple of unit studies as a little warm-up, and then we're going to go into the second half of our school year. We're going to go into the physical sciences. So typically in 1 year, I like to do about 3 to 4 science unit studies from the Good and the Beautiful, 1 per quarter. Now, we don't always get to all 4 of them. Sometimes we just do 3 and then we leave the 4th one for the summertime. My kids really love the Good and the Beautiful so much that they don't even mind doing it over the summer break, because we get to do some fun experiments and some fun nature walks and things like that during the summertime. And so my kids love doing them anyways. So we don't really pressure ourselves to get all 4 done, but I like to have them just in case we do get through the unit studies. So for science this year, we are going to be doing ecosystems. Ecosystems is something we've never studied before. We kind of talked about it a little bit when we were learning about animals and mammals and the ocean animals and things, but this kind of takes a deeper dive into how animals interact with each other in the animal kingdom, and it talks about the different habitats and things where animals live. And so we're really excited to go into the ecosystems science unit. Now, just to show you guys the science units, when you buy them in print, they're already pre-bound for you. Before, the Good and the Beautiful used to have a lot of prep time that you needed to kind of invest in order to get the units ready every year. I love that the Good and the Beautiful actually listened to those homeschool mamas who were like, we don't want to do all that prepping, and they started to get everything prepped for you. So the Good and the Beautiful not only has their teacher manual with all of the resources already bound, but it also comes with a student journal, which I will show you too. So we're going to be starting with the ecosystems. The next one we're going to be doing is kingdoms and classifications, where we're going to look at the animals and where they are classified and all of the different animal groups and families. And then we're going to go into 2 unit studies that have to do with the physical sciences. And the first one we're going to be doing is the wonders of energy. Now, this is a grade 3 through 8 unit study, so obviously it's geared for older kids. So I'm excited to go through this because my kids really have never learned anything about energy other than just maybe a brief overview here and there. And we did do some fun studies last year on it, but this is going to be a lot more detailed, and I'm really excited to do the wonders of energy with that. And the last unit study we have planned is the motions and simple machines unit study. This is one of their newer ones, and I'm really excited to go into the motions and simple machines because it comes with some really cool experiments that we get to actually build things and stuff. So I'm excited to do this unit study. This is what we're going to wrap our year up with. And again, if we don't get them all done, we will take care of this in the summer. But let me just show you what the student journals look like. They're already bounded for you and hole punched, so you can stick them in a binder as well if you wanted to. And it usually separates, the student journal usually has like kindergarten through 3rd grade, or kindergarten through 6th grade, 3rd through 6th grade, and then it has a 7th and 8th grade student journal. So again, this is the whole point of family subjects, that you get to have one curriculum that caters to everybody. And so the student journal is great. It's colorful, has different activities and ways to reinforce the lessons that you are learning in the unit study. Now for history, we're going to be continuing on with using the story of the world. We've been using story of the world since the beginning of our homeschool journey. We started with Ancient Civilizations, Volume 1. And usually it takes us about 2 years to go through one volume of Story of the World, because we only do history once a week, and because we like to take our time and do projects and do fun, different deep dives as we go along. So we are going to be continuing on with Volume 2. That's where we're at, which is the Middle Ages. We have about 10 chapters left of Volume 2, and then we're going to go into Early Modern History, which is Volume 3 of the Story of the World. And I love the Story of the World because it really can tailor to multiple ages. They have coloring pages for the younger ones, different review questions and activities for the older ones, projects. Now, we don't really get to a lot of the projects in Story of the World. They're a little bit complicated. That's my one, a little complaint about Story of the World. But I love the curriculum as a whole itself, because it's very comprehensive. It also comes with an audio version that you can pop in a CD, and it reads the chapters to your children. So if by the end of the week your voice is tired, like mine mostly is, you can have the reader actually narrate the book to your students, which I usually do myself. The Story of the World's curriculum comes with this book, which has the chapters that you will be studying. It comes with you can also get a test and answer key that has different tests that you can give your older students. And what I love too is I don't really give my children the tests, but we use the test as review and discussion. So that's why I wanted to get this as well. And then it comes with I have all these piles of books everywhere. It also comes with an activity book, and the activity book has maps where they can do map work, along with review questions, along with narration and copy work and things like that you can also do. Now remember, Story of the World is more of a classical approach to education, so it's going to have a lot of those classical principles within its curriculum. But again, you can use this curriculum however is best for your family. And so I actually took the spine out of my activity book and I coil bounded it, because it's just so much easier to open and to carry along with me when I'm teaching. So we are using Story of the World, and we're going to actually be doing something different this year with Story of the World. We're going to be creating a Story of the World notebook, which I hope to show you by the end of the school year, where we're going to have all of the different chapters, and we're going to have timelines in there. We're going to have maps in there and different things that they're going to be doing and drawing and stuff like that. So I'm excited to share that with you. Now, the last subject that we're going to be looking at is art. Now, art is something that I really love to teach on Fridays because it really rounds out our week. It's the last thing that I teach on Friday because we end with a fun project. And so it gets to kind of be a great entrance into the weekend on a great note, doing a fun art project. So for art this year, we are going to be continuing our study of different artists, and we for the last couple of years have been doing an artist of the month every month, where we kind of do a deep dive into the artist's life. We study artists from the Renaissance, from the modern era. We study women artists. So we always like to focus on one artist every month. And what I like to do with that is I like to use the Charlotte Mason portfolios. And so these are from Simply Charlotte Mason, and I will link it in the description box below. But these are really, really awesome art studies. They're picture studies that you do on artists. Like this one is for Da Vinci, and I love it because it comes with a book that has the biography of that specific artist. It also has pictures of some of the artwork that they are known for, or mainly known for. And it gives a brief explanation on each of the paintings. And the reason why it has this is because this is meant to do in the form of a picture study. Now, what is a picture study? A picture study is where you get a picture, and these portfolios come with these beautifully designed laminated pictures of the different paintings that that artist has done in their life, and you do a picture study with your students. What I love about that is it really gives the student the ability to spend some quiet time analyzing the painting, looking at the different shades and colors and style of that artist, and we kind of sit quietly for about 5 minutes or so and look at the artist's painting, and we study it, and then we talk about it, and we have some discussion questions that I like to come up with for them to be able to analyze this this painting. What I think is great about these Charlotte Mason portfolios is when your student gets older, they're going to really be able to go to different art museums and be able to do this same kind of picture analysis with whatever art they may be looking at. Maybe they're going to travel one day and they're going to go to the Louvre, or they're going to go to famous art museums. You're going to want them to have the ability to be able to look at a piece of work and A, recognize what's being painted, and B, recognize maybe the artist that painted that or that created that. And so these picture study portfolios, we love to use these. We've been using them for a couple of years now, and we're going to continue to do so through our art curriculum. Now, what is the art curriculum we're going to be doing? Now, the art curriculum that we're going to be doing is, I found this on christianbook.com, and it's called Short Lessons in Art History, Artists and Their Work. And what it does is it goes through the history of art through the lives of different famous artists. And what I love is that it divides it into different periods of art history. And it goes from the artists of the Italian Renaissance, it goes into the artists of Northern Europe, the Spanish masters, the Impressionists and Post-Impressionists, the 19th century American greats, the outstanding modern American painters, and then it talks about different famous sculptors as well. So I love this because there are really short lessons, a couple of pages where you do a little read aloud about that artist, and then it also comes with a little workbook where you can do different fill in the blanks, questions, multiple choice. They have some word searches on just to kind of reinforce what they learned about that artist. So we're kind of going to be using this in combination with the picture study. Now, to bring the art alive, we've got a couple of subscription services that we love to use in our homeschool. The first one is from Deep Space Sparkle, which I will link in the description as well. And they have something called the Sparklers Club. The Sparklers Club is a art curriculum for art teachers, homeschool moms, parents that want to bring art into their homeschools or into their schools. And in the art subscription, there are videos where the person who is where the lady that is, and I don't remember her name right now, but the lady actually does videos where she's teaching these different art projects to your students. And so we love to pop in those videos. Usually she uses a lot of materials that we already probably have for art, like watercolors and tempera paint and paintbrushes and things like that. So it's not too complicated, and she really helps to bring the art alive. They have a wonderful database of videos and art projects and art lessons that you get. Now, it's a little bit pricey. It's about $30 a month, but we only use it maybe for a few months here and there. And when we don't need it, we don't use it. They are having some open enrollment right now during the month of August. So if you're interested in it, you definitely need to click on that link very soon. The other thing that we use as well for art subscription is we either use craft boxes from Craft and Boogie for more of our seasonal art projects that we want to do throughout the year. And we also use another subscription called Yellow Spot Sun, which we've used in the past. We may not be using it this year, but we have used it in the past, and I highly recommend that as well. So that is it. That is all of our curriculum for our family subjects this year. Now, what do we do for extra resources? I told you at the beginning of the video, I've got some additional resources that I like to use in conjunction with the different curriculum. Now, for science, I always like to have on hand some encyclopedias of science. And so I like to use the DK First Animal Encyclopedia and the DK Encyclopedia of Animals. Now, this one is for more younger kids, and this one's for more older students as more information. The wording is a little bit, the print is a little smaller. This one, the print's a little bit bigger. So I like to have these out on the table depending on what unit study we are on, just in case they want to learn more about something we may be covering in the unit study. The Good and the Beautiful also has additional books and resources that come as part of their unit studies. They're called book packs that you can also get to supplement what you're learning in the unit study. So I like to use that as well. I like to get the different resources that they have. Like for example, I got all of the book packs for the different unit studies that I'm doing. They have The Spark, The Amazing Mind of Granville Woods, just books that you could read aloud to your students that coincide with what you're learning in the science lesson. They have The Story of Invention, Motion in Sports, obviously for our energy lesson. They have the Elf Owl and the Ecosystem and his ecosystem. Ecosystems in your backyard, the Amazon rainforest, and the fungi study. Fungi? Whatever. Tomato. The Good and the Beautiful's fungi study for mushrooms and things, and that's for our ecosystem unit. So we like to use that for our science resources. I also love to use YouTube. There is a wonderful channel called SciShow Kids, which we love to also supplement with our unit studies as well. Now, for history, we like to use a couple of encyclopedias that go along with the story of the world, which you can definitely get as well in the activity book that comes with the Story of the World's curriculum. It actually references some of these books. This is the Usbourne Encyclopedia of World History, which we use with our Story of the World to continue to supplement, get extra information on whatever the chapter is covering. And this is cool because the activity book actually references the pages that you need to look for in this resource, which is awesome. Then I also use the Usbourne Geography Encyclopedia. I like this for both history and science. If there's maybe an animal that comes from a certain country and you want to learn more about that country or about that animal's habitat, you can sometimes find it in these geography encyclopedias. And I also like to use it obviously for history as well. The Map Trek Complete Collection. This is actually a collection of old maps that kids can go through. So it has like how the maps were drawn out in ancient times. So here's like a map of ancient India, a map of ancient China, and it gives you just all the different types of maps that you can refer to in your studies of history and how the maps have changed over time depending on all the different wars and conquests that have happened throughout world history as well. For science, I also like to supplement with a Catholic curriculum. We are a Catholic family, so we use the Foundations of Science by Tan Books Publishing. And what's great about this is it kind of helps to bring a little bit of our Catholic faith into what we're studying in science. And this one is on ecosystems and species. So when we go through our ecosystems unit study, I'm going to grab this and read off of some of the chapters that may coincide with our Good and the Beautiful unit study as well. So as you see, you can really supplement with a lot of other things that I just like to have on the table. Another great resource for art, and I'm sorry I'm kind of switching back and forth from subjects, but it's just what I have right in front of me. But this is another great resource, and these are the Mike Venezia books. Mike Venezia, it makes these great little readers, and they are on the different artists that he also does it on composers for music and on inventors as well. Some of them are you have to buy used because they're out of print, but you can find these on Amazon and I will link them below. But I have like Claude Monet, Leonardo da Vinci, I have Van Gogh. So I've been collecting these. I love them because they have the story of the artist's life really in a very fun and colorful way. It's kind of telling a story. They have like little comic book quotes type of thing that you can read as well, and some are pretty funny actually. And so I love these little Mike Venezia books. I always pull them out depending on whatever artist we're studying that month. So that is it. That is everything for our family subjects this year. I'm really excited for our Fun Fridays. It's my favorite day of the week where we get to just get together and do all of these fun subjects together and learn together as a family. Let me know what you guys do for your family subjects. Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to get some ideas of extra resources that you may use as well. So thank you again for being here today, and stay tuned for my next video where I go through my morning cart and all that I'm going to be using for that. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.
In love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you.